Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jorie Foss, and I'm here with my colleague Joao, and we are here today to talk to you about unlocking people and skills insights with new agents in Microsoft 365 Copilot. So over the past few years, if you opened your newsfeed, it probably looked something like this: a blur of headlines about how AI is changing everything. But while we talk endlessly about algorithms and data and automation, the real story of AI isn't just about the technology. It's also about people. And the truth is that every organization is going through essentially two transformations at once. There's the technical transformation, the deploying, building AI tools, and then there's the human transformation that involves how do we make sure that people are ready to thrive in this AI-powered world. We've spent years prepping organizations for the future, and now it's time that we are making sure we prepare our people. So today, we are here to talk to you about how we do that and how we help people connect, grow, and thrive in this new AI-powered world. When we talk about AI, the upside always sounds amazing. A future where intelligent systems replace mundane tasks, where teams move faster, decisions get smarter, innovation becomes effortless. We essentially paint AI as the superhero, but the reality for most people looks very different. Employees are feeling a bit left behind, struggling to keep up with the change and the skills needed to thrive. Leaders are also overwhelmed, trying to ensure their organization can keep up with the pace of change. Every transformation requires some level of change management to bridge the gap between the potential of AI and people's readiness to actually use AI effectively. That's where the new generation of AI comes in, not to replace humans or add more technical side to the AI journey, but to really empower people to use it more effectively. Our latest people science research showed that in the next 12 to 18 months, business leaders are focused on helping employees navigate this change. 47% are prioritizing AI-specific skilling for their workforce. 45% are focused on maintaining headcount, but using AI as digital labor. And 44% are investing in maintaining employee morale through this change. And that's where agents can help. We're starting to see agents evolve beyond just workflow automation. Some of the early cases of agents were very much about helping you work through a specific task. But now we're seeing agents start to be collaborators and connectors and coaches and helping really bridge the gap between people and technology and unlocking new opportunities for businesses and their workforce in this new AI era. More specifically, agents can give employees and leaders the support they need to build connections, to deepen relationships across the organization, to upskill their employees and help business leaders drive strategic upskilling initiatives, and then to continuously assess and adapt to keep up with the rapid pace of change today. So today, we are excited to announce 3 new agents in Microsoft 365 Copilot to help you drive workforce transformation in your organization. The People Agent enables employees to discover, connect, and collaborate with people across their organization. The Learning Agent equips employees with the skills and knowledge they need based on their role. And the Workforce Insights Agent helps managers and leaders better understand their teams and people to support ongoing workforce planning initiatives. These 3 agents are currently available as part of our Frontier program in Microsoft 365 Copilot. So how do these agents work? This week, you've probably been hearing a lot about WorkIQ, which is the intelligence layer that enables Microsoft 365 Copilot and agents to know your work inside and out. For example, Copilot can understand organizational relationships and common tasks based on work activity. And then Copilot can reason over that data to drive more clarity and context for employees and managers. By embedding WorkIQ in these agents, we're transforming the employee experience from static directories and manual tasks to a more dynamic AI-powered ecosystem. Employees can find the right people faster, leaders can make better decisions, and everyone gets an experience tailored to meet their needs, all inside the tools that they already use on a day-to-day basis. We also have our people skills inferencing engine that builds on top of WorkIQ by mapping skills across your organization. Using advanced AI inferencing, it identifies and updates employee skills profiles based on real work data. Together, WorkIQ and people skills enable smarter decisions, whether you're making it easier for employees to find colleagues based on their specific skills, guiding upskilling initiatives, or redistributing teams based on your skills. They transform Copilot from a helpful assistant to truly a strategic partner for your workforce. Now, instead of just talking, we're going to show you how these agents work in real life, and I'd like to hand it over to my colleague Joao to talk about the people agent.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a great time at Ignite. The people agent is all about that connect portion of the circle that, that Jorie was just talking about. So the connect agent, the people agent, is focused on helping you better understand the organization that you're part of, the colleagues that are part of that organization, and nurture the relationships that you already have in that organization. Additionally, it helps you find additional people that can help you solve your needs at work, that can really help you move your work forward. This agent has just become available in Frontier today. This morning, my colleagues in Europe have managed to publish it after months of work, and I'm really, really proud to be here representing that entire team that spans across continents. So without any further ado, let's jump into the demo of the people agent. So I'm in this situation where I'm in a meeting, and I'm hearing everyone talking about the new AI, centralized AI organization that was just formed at my company. I've never heard of that organization. Another thing that I've never heard of is the person that is leading that organization. I hear that his name is 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗧, and everyone is super excited about this person leading such a big endeavor at my company. So what do? I just open people right here from the taskbar, and I see 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗧. If not, I can type it. Even if I misspell his name, the people agent in the taskbar is quick to find it. So the first question that I have is, how far along are we in the process of creating this new organization? And so for that, there's a good proxy. How big is this organization already? Does it have people in it? So what I do is I open Copilot and I ask, how large is his org? So as soon as I submit this information, it's transitioning into the bigger people agent, because the bigger people agent gives you space to really understand and grasp your organization and the people in it. So right now, it's thinking and it's giving me all this information about Kian's organization. My favorite piece is that it gives you this interactive org chart as a response. So this is no longer just text. This is a response that is fully interactive, something that you can work with, something that you can use to explore your organization. So on the left, on the chat, I see that it has 45 members. On the right, I see those same 45 members, including 2 direct reports. And here I'm particularly drawn to Mary Reynolds, who is an AI strategy director. So she only has 1 direct report so far. So it seems like she's still building out this organization. Given that I'm thousands of miles from HQ, I want to know if this is a globally distributed organization or if this is something centralized and really local to the HQ. And so I go with my next prompt and I say, how is Kian's Greenwood team distributed across time zones? So now I'm leaning on the people agent to give me the response and to show me whether this is an organization that is very local or if this is globally distributed. One thing that you'll figure out in just a minute is that the prompt box on the left and the interactive org chart on the right, they're completely connected. So they're 2 pieces of the same coin. What that means is that as soon as I talk about Kian, it recenters around 𝗬𝗫 and shows me the org chart back at the level of 𝗬𝗫. I can keep looking at this. Additionally, when I look at the head counts, I get the information that I need. So it tells me that 40 people are in HQ, or at least they're in Pacific Standard Time. But there are people in Europe. There are people also in Central America. So that means that this is actually a globally distributed organization. But I'm still curious about 𝗦𝗽𝗻𝗻𝗄. And so let's see how I can leverage the people agent to learn more about this person. So I just start typing her name here on the input box. I click on 𝗦𝗽𝗻𝗻𝗄. And this is one of my favorite features of the people agent. That is, all prompt boxes are completely contextual on your relationship with the person that you're looking into. So in this case, I don't know Mary, and the first prompt that it suggests is, tell me about Mary. Who is she? But if this was someone that I knew very closely, that I worked closely with, what I would get would be a completely different set of prompts that would be hyper-contextual to the relationship that I have with that person. So click on Tell Me About 𝗦𝗽𝗻𝗻𝗄. And the first thing you notice is the org chart, once again, has recentered. So this can be someone in the same organization. It can be someone in a completely different branch of your company. And you would get still the same fluid interface that you can navigate. Additionally, I can look up and it says, well, she's an AI strategy director. I know where she is. I know who her manager and directs are. But here, I get information about the skills that she has, the current projects, recent activity, and any additional relevant information. So I started from a point where I was kind of skeptical about this new AI, centralized AI org at my company. I didn't really know what it was all about. And now I'm confident I understand the org, and I'm confident about the people that are leading this organization. So I started from a point of not knowing anything, and I got to a point where I feel like I understand this organization. But now that I've spent some time looking at the new AI organization, I have just an upcoming one-on-one with my manager, Alfie. So how many of you prepare for your one-on-ones? A fair amount, fair amount. I try to. So in the past, I didn't prepare for one-on-ones unless they were with a VP or something super high stakes. And so I didn't do it because it would take me forever. I would be scavenging through my emails, through my Teams messages, through documents, try to understand what we last discussed, what we need to discuss today. But that was worth it because I only had that little bit of time, and I really wanted to hit the ground running. I really wanted to use the full 30 minutes of my meeting instead of spending the first 10 minutes just rehashing context. So now I have multiple solutions to prepare in a matter of seconds, not even minutes. How do I do this? I have two options. I have a suggestion to help me prepare. This will give me a briefing. But since I'm only a couple of minutes away from this meeting, I take an even faster approach. So I click on Alfie, and it opens what we call the person view. And the person view shows me a topic map that I can look at what's new, what has recently been discussed, what topics are still open. I can see a full picture of this. And not only that, but I can turn on Facilitator, that is your note-taking assistant in Teams, and this will automatically update the topic map at the end of my meeting. So it will automatically grab all the information that we discussed and give me a full picture of what's going on. Again, this is fully dynamic. So I can go from topics to subtopics. And I even have here the leaf nodes. In this case, I see that a patch caused a compatibility hiccup. I don't really know what this is. So I just click on it, and it prepares a prompt that will go back and rehash the entire information that I need to know about this specific situation. Once again, I started from a point of, I have a meeting in 5 minutes, and I would probably waste the first 5-10 minutes of this meeting. But I didn't, because I could quickly catch up and prepare for this meeting in just a matter of seconds. Oops, seems like it didn't like this prompt. Let's try again. Again, this is bleeding edge. It's something that we just shipped this morning. Now, let's think about yet another situation. That is, in this meeting with my manager, we were discussing the budget that is due in just a few hours. We're thinking about the budget for the next 6 months, and it's due in just a little bit. And there's one key thing that we forgot. We want to build agents. This seems to be important nowadays. And when we were preparing for this, we didn't take that into account. We didn't think about the agent development and the costs associated with that. How many of you have built agents? OK, maybe a dozen or so. It's hard to find the right people in your organization that have the experience. Typically, how we do this is we ask someone that may know someone else, and sometimes you miss the real experts. You find someone that may know a little bit about the topic, but you miss the real experts. Now, Jorie has talked about skills. Jorie has talked about how we infer skills from WorkIQ and how those skills can help us really get to the information that we need. So what do? I open skills in the people agent, and skills in the people agent give me a suggested prompt that is ready to go. Who can help me with? This is my favorite prompt ever. Who can help me with? And so in this case, I need someone that can help me with agent development, someone that really knows how much it takes, what's the effort involved, how much should I really budget in terms of resources for building something like this. And so I just type agent, and again, the skills that are proposed over here, they're hyper-specific to your company. So it's based on your WorkIQ. It's based on the skills at your company that exist at your company. And these are the things that we can, that you probably have experts on. So here, I click on agent development. And my next step is to go and the system is going to look through the skills taxonomy. It's going to find this specific skill and who are the people that can help me with this topic. So now, Copilot is just taking another minute. In this case, it has found 9 people in my organization that know about agent development, that actually have this expertise. It lists them in order of preference. It gives me information on what skill am I looking for and what complementary skills exist. And it even tells me why this person is particularly relevant to this topic. But not only this, if you're more comfortable with the typical search results that you find on any Microsoft 365 application, we also have that for you. Because this is all about augmenting the information, getting you familiar with that. And so in this case, I just opened something that looks familiar to many of you. It's a search results page that shows me these people, and that I can even filter by location. In this case, I'm based out of Bergen, looking for someone in Bergen, and I can quickly fire up a Teams message and get help getting this budget delivered on time. So this is the people agent. The people agent is about understanding your organization and the people in it. It's about nurturing your relationships, getting up to speed and getting into that meeting feeling prepared, feeling ready, without wasting any additional time. And it's about finding the experts that exist in your organization. Now back to you, Jorie.
Thank you. All right, so now that we've seen how People Agent helps employees connect, let's talk about what's next. How you can make sure that you're equipping your employees with the right skills and helping them build those skills continuously. That's where the new learning agent comes in. In an AI-driven world, skills are not static. They are continuously evolving to meet the needs of a business that's growing. Employees need personalized, adaptive learning experiences that help them stay ahead. And the learning agent is designed to do exactly that. From WorkIQ, the learning agent understands your role and your skills, so it can provide learning recommendations that are hyper-personalized to you. Instead of generic courses, employees get tailored recommendations like mastering Excel for a finance person or learning negotiation for a new manager. As organizations are racing to build AI fluency, the learning agent can also offer daily tips on how to use Copilot more effectively in your role. Employees can also use the learning agent to see any assigned trainings that have been pushed out from their organization, including any mandatory training that's due soon. The learning agent pulls content from across your learning ecosystem, including MS Learn, SharePoint, LinkedIn Learning, and Viva Learning, bringing all of your learning activities directly into Microsoft 365 Copilot. Show of hands, does anyone here use Viva Learning today? Few of you. If you have configured any third-party LMS connectors within Viva Learning, the learning agent will also pull that content directly into Microsoft 365 Copilot from a wide variety of providers such as Coursera or Cornerstone. In addition to the library of LinkedIn Learning courses, we are also excited to partner with LinkedIn to bring in their AI-powered role play scenarios directly within the learning agent so that employees can practice real workplace scenarios with the help of an AI-powered coach. So now let's see how this looks in action. Let's see. All right, from the Microsoft 365 Copilot chat, I open the learning agent in my left-hand rail, and you can see I'm immediately greeted by a personalized page that understands my role, gives me really hyper-personalized AI tips, and also really relevant prompts that are very specific to my role and the projects that I'm working on. As part of the learning agent, I can also update my learning profile to add any new skills that I want to personally work on developing that the agent may not be aware of. So in this case, I'm part of a new team that's looking for more agent developers, and so I tell the learning agent that I really want to learn about agent development. And I add that directly to my learning profile so that in the future, when I come back to the learning agent, it will recommend more courses related to that skill. I can also prompt the agent to give me courses related to that skill right now. So I want to say, I want to learn more about agent development. The agent is then looking across the entire content the entire library of content that I have available to me to find courses that I may find relevant. And it's going to list out all of the courses, including the time it takes to complete those, so I can properly prepare and add those to my calendar to complete during the week. It will also tell me where those courses are sourced from, whether it's a Microsoft source, a LinkedIn source, or a third-party source. In this case, the learning agent is also giving me a little tip on why agent development matters as a skill for me and how I can better apply that in my role. And you can see as I scroll down, it's found several courses on this topic that I might find helpful at varying lengths, and I can build those into my schedule to meet my needs. Next, I also want to understand how Copilot can help me with agent development. So I know that I can upskill myself, but I also want to know how I can use AI to help me with that new skill. So I'm going to ask, give me tips on how to use Copilot for agent development. What this is going to do is it's going to provide suggested prompts and scenarios that Copilot can help me reduce some of the time that I'm spending on that task, including just an opportunity to copy and paste that prompt directly into Microsoft 365 Copilot. So I don't have to spend a ton of time getting up to speed on that scenario. And then lastly, I noticed when I opened the learning agent that there was the AI-powered role play from LinkedIn. So on my new team, I'm going to be working across a bunch of stakeholders across marketing, engineering, sales, and I really need to work on how I can navigate that org dynamic. And so I'm asking Copilot to say, I want to practice more about the following scenario, navigating difficult conversations. The learning agent is going to look at the library of role play scenarios and find ones that are really specific to that scenario that I'm dealing with. So you can see here we have a role play scenario called Navigating Conflicts with Workplace Power Dynamics. That's perfect. And directly in line, I can start the role play scenario, and it pulls me to the LinkedIn Learning Career Hub to start that role play at just a few clicks of a button. All right, so going back to the learning agent, I also noticed that there's a tab called From Your Organization, and so I'm curious what that is. And I see that I have some mandatory training that is due, it looks like next week, so it's good that I'm checking this. I need to take our security training, so I mark that as something to do. I can even just complete it right here within the Learning Agent. And then lastly, one of the things that's really great is I can see how much time I've spent learning over the last couple of weeks, and so I see I'm on an 8-week streak, and that helps me stay motivated to keep making learning a priority for me in my day-to-day job. So that's something we are working on the roadmap, so being able to hyper-connect to Outlook as assigned training, yes. All right, so we've talked about connecting our workforce, upskilling our workforce, and now let's talk about how managers and leaders can get the right insights to help drive continual change. Because we know skills aren't static, org charts aren't static, so how do you keep up with the pace of change and really get the insights that you need to adapt over time? With the Workforce Insights Agent, leaders can instantly see how their organization is structured by role, level, location, and even reporting lines without digging through static org charts. This clarity can help identify imbalances, such as spans of control that may be too large or teams that need additional support. Instead of guessing, managers get actionable insights to optimize their team structure and ensure that resources are allocated properly. The Workforce Insights Agent can also show you the top skills across your organization and highlight gaps that could impact upskilling. It could impact upcoming projects. So Joao showed you from a one-on-one perspective how the people skills inferencing shows up. This is more of the macro view of how skills are distributed across your entire organization and being able to visualize that skill distribution. And then lastly, the agent just doesn't just show you the data. It can use advanced reasoning to proactively analyze opportunities, compare to industry benchmarks, and then propose recommendations to help you make decisions faster. And so we are going to launch into this demo. Just a second. All right, thank you. Perfect. All right, so here I am in the Workforce Insights Agent in Microsoft 365 Copilot. So in this scenario, imagine that I was just hired to lead a brand new team of people that I don't know much about. It's really important for me to make sure that I have the right team in place for a lot of our business priorities that we're trying to land. So I know that the Workforce Insights Agent can help me answer critical questions like, are we staffed properly? Do we have the right skills in place? And how can we leverage AI to automate any of our work, given that we're going to be very, very busy in the upcoming quarters ahead? So first, I want to understand how my team is staffed. So I navigate to the Workforce Insights Agent, and I ask, how is my team currently staffed? I would like the agent to provide a breakout by level and function, and then to help me visualize the breakdown as well. I'm a very visual learner, so I'm looking for ways that I can see that better. And then I'm also asking the agent to include any relevant insights that I can take away. So the Workforce Insights Agent is using WorkIQ to make these calculations. They know about my organization and how it's staffed. And so you can see here that I get a very detailed analysis of my team by function and by level, including really dynamic charts that I can then either copy into a more detailed report or share with colleagues. So based on this chart, you can see that my team is extremely over-indexed on engineers, particularly around the level 4 band. And so that's something for me to keep in mind just in terms of how we're staffed. The agent can also pull out key insights. Here you see the agent recognized the same thing that I did, including that I have a very product and engineering heavy team, and giving me more recommendations on how I can optimize that team. So for example, it's saying that I should start to assess seniority bands and giving me some more insights on what I can do next with that information. So structure is one step, but I also want to understand how skills are distributed across my organization. And so I asked the agent, ask the agent, what are the top skills across my organization? Summarize the strengths that these skills represent for my team and suggest 2 to 3 areas for upskilling. I want to really focus on what I can do today to make this better. And so the Workforce Insights agent is going to break out all of the skills across my organization. You can see I have a very heavy concentration of people with skills in change management and sales enablement, for example. It also is going to look at any gaps that I have from a skills perspective. So you can see here that I have pretty light skills when it comes to AI fluency, which isn't great as we're starting to build some of our AI transformation efforts. And so that's something that I note to myself to either push out through the learning agent to help my teams upskill on AI fluency, or build a more structured plan to help build AI fluency as well. And you can see that the agent even goes as far as to proactively provide a 30, 60, 90-day plan for me to be able to do that upskilling initiative. And then lastly, since I know this is a big transformation and my team will be at maximum capacity, I want to understand how AI can help augment those skills. And so I asked the agent which teams or roles in my organization would benefit the most from AI and to suggest next steps. So what this is going to be looking at is a role-specific view of ways that AI can help supplement some of the skills that we have. For example, it's suggesting ways that AI can help with content and communication, data analysis, some of those skills that are more of a day-to-day task to free up my team for more high-value work. It's telling me how it calculated all of this, the reasoning that it used to come to this analysis, and then it's breaking out by team and role where the highest potential for AI can come in. So you can see from my engineering team, there's a ton of potential to be able to use AI in their day-to-day role. So as you can see, with the Workforce Insights agent, in just a matter of a few minutes, I was able to get a super detailed view of my team, how it's structured, the skills that we have, including any gaps that we have, and proactive recommendations for where we can upskill and augment those skills using AI. This workforce planning initiative probably would have taken me months in the past, and I was able to do this in just a few minutes using Copilot. So to recap, today we showed you 3 new agents in Microsoft 365 Copilot to help you build a better employee experience, using AI to create stronger networks across your organization with the people agent, to help you build the right skills with the learning agent, and then to get real-time insights to drive transformation with the Workforce Insights agent. The People and Learning Agent are available now as part of the Frontier program in Microsoft 365 Copilot, so we encourage you to go and test those out today and provide as much feedback as you can. The Workforce Insights agent will start rolling out in early December, and we are very excited to bring these experiences to you today. So with that, if you're interested in learning more about these employee experience-related agents, the innovation session that happened on Tuesday, it is on demand now. We did introduce some of these new agents as part of that session. We also have one more agent that kind of falls under our employee experience umbrella, which is the employee self-service agent. There is a session today, I believe, in this ballroom at 3:30, where they will be going in more detail about that agent specifically. If you'd like to talk to us or have very specific questions, we will be at the expert meetup area in the hub as part of the employee experience agents booth. It's in the Copilot and agent section. I know the navigation is a little confusing, but near the Microsoft 365 agent area. And then if you'd like to learn more, you can visit aka.ms/M365agents to get an overview of all of our first-party agents that we're building at Microsoft. And I think we have a little bit of time if there are any burning questions that we can help answer. If not, happy to answer the booth.
Yeah. Sounds good. Repeating the question was, where do all of these agents get their information from? Correct? Yeah, so mostly WorkIQ. So basically, most of this information comes from the documents that you've published, and it respects access, obviously. So if you shared some documents with me, if we've had email conversations, if we've had Teams messages that we exchanged, if we were in meetings together that were recorded, like all of those things make up of WorkIQ. And then Copilot can go and leverage WorkIQ to answer and to provide you insights about all of these people. So the Workforce Insights is a little bit of a specific case because it has more sensitive information that sometimes comes, it may even come from additional systems of record, like HR systems that may be connected here. And so the permissions for the Workforce Insights agent are very different. They're for leaders and for managers. The other two agents that you've seen, they're horizontal and they're available to any knowledge worker in your organization as long as they have a Copilot license.
And we have controls in place too, so you can manage what data it does show. That's important. That no one's going to be surfaced insight or data that they do not already have access to as part of the Microsoft 365 graph or your Entra ID profile. So it's not going to source, for example, hypersensitive data to an employee that shouldn't know that about another employee. It's very personalized to your organization and only sources data that you already have access to, but just more in a kind of easier way to get that data.
Another question. That's an excellent question. So the question is whether the People Agent will be integrated with LinkedIn and will be available to ask questions about external people, understand people that are external to your organization. And the answer is yes. We started with these three initial core focus areas, and we're going to expand those so that the People Agent should be the destination for any people-centric needs that you have or that users have within your organization. There. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can take that one. Yep. So the AI Skills Navigator is built on top of MS Learn to provide a more AI-forward way to get certifications and understand learning. In the future, through the Learning Agent, you will also be able to pull in some of the AI Skills Navigator content as well. And a lot of times, both of those experiences are sourcing the same content from across MS Learn, SharePoint, et cetera. So definitely more connection that we're working on building as part of the Frontier program and beyond. But it is sourcing a lot of the same information. It's more just about the experience that you're either directly within MS Learn getting that experience, or you kind of have this more broader view through the Learning Agent that also provides other courses that you may find relevant. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you all so much for your time today.
Oh, there's one more, it seems. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the question was, in the People Agent, we got an org chart that was about a specific project, and how does that relate to the org chart that you get in Active Directory? So the answer is, it's exactly the same one. In this case, if one thing that I did was I asked the question about the org of a person, and so I centered this around a person, and so it generated the org, the same org that you would get if you were to go, say, to your profile card and look at this person. If I were to open Cian Greenwood's profile card and look at the org, it will look the same, basically. The only difference is that you wouldn't have the prompt capabilities connected to it that would allow you to get these additional insights about the organization.
That's a great question. So the permissions on the back end are very similar to Viva Insights of having the designation of manager or leader access. And if you are not a manager or leader, you can also request delegate access from your manager or leader. So if I was the chief. based on your org chart. So it can understand how many direct reports you have based on how many direct reports you have. Exactly. And then, so for example, if I was the chief of staff, so I didn't have any direct reports myself, but I had to look at the data for my leader that I'm supporting, I can request delegate access through Viva Insights to see all of that person's data. Yes, yes.
Something worth mentioning is that there you have access to the data about your organization, about your branch of the organization, right? So I have information about the people that report to me and the people that report to people that report to me, but I wouldn't have access to data about people that report to Jorie, for example. So it's very safe in that matter. We're trying to help leaders plan for their own organization without exposing things that happen elsewhere at your company. Go for it.
In our environment, we disable the skills service plan in our entry licensing. So how we operate, do we need to enable it in order for these changes to work?
Good question. So you disabled skills in your organization.
In the licensing,
in the service center, I'm assuming, yeah. Into the management console. So if you've disabled the skills service, the skills piece of the people agent will not be available. Everything else will be, like the organization, understanding about people. You don't need to turn on Frontier. Like you can go to the list of agents and you can install this agent. You don't need to give Frontier access to your tenants. They are in Frontier. Think of the Frontier branding for agents as something that says this is still in beta. This is still being developed. But unless you have specifically blocked any kind of agents, or if you're in a allow list, okay. If you haven't blocked, the users can go to the list of agents and find these agents and install them independently of whether you turned on Frontier for your tenant or not.
Thank you all.
Thank you.